You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I got to tell you this. Man, when it comes to these Raiders, it seems like there is always something to talk about, which even though the Raiders aren't my team, I root, and I'll continue to say this, I am pulling. I have got the pom-poms out, those pennant flags, old school 80 pennant flags out that say the word interesting on it. I am rooting for interesting, and damn it, the Raiders are really interesting. And some of the shit that's coming out right now, I mean, the fact that there's a coaching vacancy technically open. And guys, I'm going to tell you this. I am no fan of Roger Goodell, as you probably have surmised at this point. I mean, I feel like a chimp could literally do his job because with the way the NFL was progressing, any commissioner in that spot that had a pulse was going to look like they were successful because as a television product, it was going to explode no matter what. All right? That's not Roger Goodell's doing. They could have literally put a puppet. They could have wheeled that little puppet from Saul out on that tricycle. He comes out and he's like, you want to play an NFL game? I mean, they could have done that. And I just don't, I'm not the biggest Roger Goodell fan. I think he's one of the worst commissioners ever. Paul Tagliabue was a hell of a commissioner. Pete Rozelle was a hell of a commissioner. And Jon Gruden has always been one of my favorite coaches, one of my favorite personalities. Whether he was in the booth or on the sidelines or wherever, Chucky is just interesting. And we know Chucky right now is suing the shit out of Roger Goodell personally, and he's suing the NFL because of the leaked emails that came from somebody that Jon Gruden cannot wait to peel the curtain back on. That's part of all of this. He's suing them for millions upon millions of dollars, but he wants it publicly exposed. Who leaked those emails? One place, the the Wall Street Journal. The other one, I believe, was the New York Times. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I made those videos from the very beginning, but you get the point. They were leaked to media outlets. And the one thing we do know, Mark Davis did not want to fire Jon Gruden. He did not want to be forced in the position to make him resign. He did not, and he was livid over it. When they had the owners' meetings, anybody remember the video of them walking up? Because I did a video on it. Walking up to Mark Davis outside the owners' meetings, and they asked about Jon Gruden and blah, 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 and they asked all these ownership. He said, go talk to them. Mark Davis, he wasn't even hanging around the other owners. I mean, livid at them because of Jon Gruden. Mark Davis loves Jon Gruden. And if it was up to Mark Davis, he would rehire Jon Gruden. At least that's what a lot of people think right now. That he actually would love to just bring back Jon Gruden. Now, again, I understand the first couple of years with Chucky back were pretty rough. But one could argue at the point that he had to resign, this team was finally taking the kind of shape, and I think Rich Bisaccia approved it the rest of the season, and those players loved Gruden. Loved Gruden. In the same kind of way they sort of love Antonio Pierce. We know how Gruden is. He's a football dude. The scowl and the look and all of it. And Mark Davis, I'm just going to keep it real. I think Mark Davis trusts Jon Gruden more than any other football entity on this planet. And their friends. You know? So I think there's that. But I saw this, and I don't know how much validity there is to it as far as the head coaching part. But I think if you gave Mark Davis truth serum, hey, the NFL is going to allow you to have hire Jon Gruden back. I think Jon Gruden will be the head coach next year. I just do. I think that's Mark Davis. That is his guy. It is why Gruden got a 10-year contract out of this thing, because I think Mark Davis just liked having him around. Pretty wild. He trusts Jon Gruden. So, check this out. Mark Davis hasn't said much since he fired Josh McDaniels, but he did say that he doesn't have anyone specifically in mind as the Raiders' next head coach. Not everyone is buying that notion, though. Some think that the Raiders owner might have Jon Gruden on his mind. He may have him on his mind. I just don't think this is going to happen. God, I would love to see it happen. But I don't think it would happen. According to Sports Illustrated's Hondo Carpenter, and I'd love to see it happen because I'd wonder if Roger Goodell might literally have a cardiac arrest right at a podium somewhere. It like it would just shut him down, and they'd have to rush in with the clear, try to pop Roger back into the living sphere. According to Sports Illustrated's Hondo Carpenter on the Las Vegas Raiders Insider podcast, Gruden has the NFL backpedaling with his lawsuit against the league, and it could ultimately lead to his return as a head coach. I know I've covered that, and I've been all up in that Jon Gruden NFL thing. They're terrified right now. They're terrified of Jon Gruden, particularly Roger Goodell. A lot of people believe Jon Gruden will take Roger Goodell out. Before it's said and done, it's the last thing he's going to do is make sure the one thing that comes out of this is Roger Goodell being jobless. That is his goal right now. Quote, I'm going to tell you there are a lot of people who feel that Mark Davis, more than Brady, Tom, and more than Jim Gray, is the person he trusts the most is Jon Gruden. And he would love to bring him back. And we know Jim Gray, Tom Brady have been a couple of people he's been leaning on. But he trusts Jon Gruden more. And I'm hearing from multiple people around the league that if Jon were willing to drop his lawsuit, that's very interesting. They believe the NFL would give a passive nod to go back and rehire him. Everyone keeps talking about Jon Gruden. If he chooses not to return to the NFL, some think Gruden could have the opportunity with his lawsuit to bring down some of the most powerful figures in the league, including the commissioner. Quote, a lot of people believe that Jon Gruden's lawsuit is going to take Roger Goodell out. And it's going to embarrass a lot of people. And I have heard that too, and I've heard it for a long time. All right? Not from Hondo Carpenter. Just, it's out there. It's known. Chucky wants Goodell. Now that Nevada courts continue to support Gruden's lawsuit, and now it's coming up on potential discovery. And if you know anything about the legal system in discovery, Jon's going to be able to ask any questions he wants. It doesn't even have to be about him. He can say, I want to talk to this owner. I want to talk to that owner. I'd like to talk to Roger Goodell or whomever. And Jon Gruden knows where everybody is buried in the NFL. Oh, that's priceless, folks. That he knows where all the Jimmy Hoffas are. Let's put it like that. Where all the Jimmy Hoffas are in the NFL. I mean, Jon Gruden's been around the NFL for 35 years. You know, he's friends with everybody. Derek Carr still loves Jon Gruden. Adores him to the point that Dennis Allen brought him into Saints training camp. Now there's more rumors of him looking at college jobs. That's so crazy that the NFL might be willing, just for the sake of not having transparency. Can you imagine the NFL would be concerned about things coming out in this Gruden lawsuit, and I've long since heard that they're scared to death that there's going to be things exposed and that comes out, particularly Roger Goodell, and the NFL is extremely concerned. And here's the reason they're concerned. If they can't convince Gruden and them to settle this in arbitration, which I do not think they're going to convince them of that. Yeah, he's suing them for whatever it is, $50 million. But Gruden's got all the money in the world. Already. He got all the money in the world. All right? On top of appearances, but he's just got all the money in the world. All right? Still getting paid from the Raiders. I mean, Mark Davis could just roll that back in. You get the point. Do I think he's coming back and coaching the Raiders? No, I don't. At least I don't think so. But if the NFL, and look, guys, the NFL makes deals behind the scenes all the time. And we're getting into a different kind of political climate now. Okay? Where now that X is owned by Elon Musk, news like Jon Gruden comes out, it doesn't hit the same anymore. It just doesn't. All right? And people have become more numb to what the outrage is. And people are much less trusting of media entities that want to run and tell on people like Jon Gruden. The outrage just wouldn't be there the same way. And I think the NFL is saying, hey, we'll let you come back and coach if you drop this lawsuit that's going to make things real ugly on us in the public's eye. That's interesting, because there's absolutely a lot of people that believe that the Jon Gruden email thing was intentionally done and that he was intentionally targeted by somebody, and a lot of people believe that somebody is actually Roger Goodell. May not be, but you get the point. They don't want it out there. So, wow. Tell me what you think. I did not have get up this morning, make a video on Jon Gruden back to the Raiders. I didn't have that on my bingo card this morning. I really didn't. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.